$250 now, $500 bid now, $250 now, $500 now, $750 bid now, $1,000 now, $1,250 now, $250. And good morning, and welcome to another edition of the Mike McGavel Jones Show, broadcasting live from Lincoln Center in Dallas, Texas, right at the intersection of the North Dallas Tollway and 635, right across from the Galleria in Lincoln Center. So we want to welcome each and every one of you. I'm excited today because we have a super special person here in Dallas that has made philanthropy a big part of her business and her life. And I've known her for a long time. We've been friends, and we've worked together on other projects. And so at this time, I'd like to welcome Katy Bock to the show today. Good morning.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here for my first podcast.
That's right. Well, I'm excited to have you here, too. And you were gracious enough to agree to do this. And I know you don't do it every day, but we're going to have a good time and talk about a special event that's coming up. And philanthropy is a big part of my life. Of course, being in the real estate business here across the United States and abroad, but then also the fundraising business and the auction school business. But I really love raising money for charitable groups and benefactors. So I know that you are the co-chair of the 2018 edition of the Cattle Barons Ball here in Dallas, Texas, which is the single largest fundraising event for one night, I understand. And this benefits the American Cancer Society. Is that right?
Correct. Cattle Barons Ball is the largest single one-night fundraiser for the American Cancer Society.
That's awesome. I have experience in this because I think the first year that I did the ball was around 2001. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of changes that have taken place in the last 17 years that I've been involved in, to see how we have switched gears, done some changes. Of course, you have a very unique group of people that run the operation here in Dallas. American Cancer being out of Atlanta. However, this is a Dallas deal. It started in Dallas. Cattle Barons. I was talking to somebody the other day, and we were talking about the Cattle Barons Ball. In fact, one of my business partners and best friend, Scott Swinson from Austin, taught auction school on Saturday and then flew to Detroit to do the Detroit Cattle Barons Ball.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people don't realize there's Cattle Barons Balls all over, from Beaumont, Texas to Austin, Texas. So there's a lot of money being raised by the Cattle Barons Ball. And so, Katy, you know the history of the Cattle Barons Ball. Let's go back to the very first one, because the very first one took place in Dallas, Texas.
We are the original.
And so tell me who was involved and who were the people, or at least how many people, and who were the driving forces behind this great event.
Okay, well, Cattle Barons Ball, the first event was in 1974. Jackie Wynn was the first chairman of it, and in fact she comes to all the events, and you can see her at all the balls and all the parties. But on that day they raised $56,000 for cancer research, and since then we have raised over $77 million for cancer research in North Texas.
That is awesome. So and you and I were not at the first ball.
Correct.
I wasn't at the first ball. I was still in high school. You weren't on the very front end of being at the Cattle Barons Ball, but tell me, you got here as quick as you could.
Quick as I could.
How long, and of course, you work with your husband, Lawrence, at Bachendorf's. Of course, you're located on Preston Road, and I think you also have one here off of 635 as well. Bachendorf's, the jeweler, is renowned as one of the greatest jewelers in the country, if not the world. And of course, I'm very familiar with Bachendorf's and what you guys have done. So when did you get involved? When did you actually start going to the balls and participating as a contributor?
Well, I started going to the balls when Lawrence and I first started dating, in fact, so about 12 years ago. But Lawrence had been supporting the ball for, I guess, 25 years now. And I was introduced to Cattle Barons Ball and many of the committee members through my husband, because he was a longtime donor and supporter. And the Cattle Barons Ball Committee is 100 Dallas women that are seasoned fundraisers. And I had quite a bit of fundraising experience myself, and Cattle Barons Ball asked me to be a part of it. And I was very interested since cancer affects so many people. Plus, this group has a reputation for getting things done, raising millions of dollars each year for cancer research in North Texas and truly making a difference in those patients' lives.
I know that this is, and the best way I can put it, based on my experience, this is driven by a group of Highland Park residents and the Park Cities. It is the driving force from businessmen and business women.
Mm-hmm.
The ladies created the event, and so when Jackie and them started this thing, they never saw how big this thing was going to become.
Oh, there's no way anybody could have imagined the powerhouse that this has become for the American Cancer Society.
Yeah, and therefore, American Cancer Society really pays attention to what's going on here in Dallas. They really care.
They really do.
And they have input. I'm sure they give input. I do the Dallas Cattle Barons this year, and I've been doing Houston for about 10 years, and that's a fun event. But I'm telling you, there's nothing like being at home. And so for me, Dallas is the Dallas Cattle Barons Ball. For me, was always the number one event that I looked forward to doing because it was done right. It was done by people I knew, and I took a lot of pride in it. So I'm very, very excited to be back as the auctioneer this year.
I mean, there is truly, I know, sounds like I'm drinking the Cattle Barons Ball Kool-Aid, but there is nothing like it in the United States, any other event like this one.
So let's go back a while. When you first started going to the ball. And so I guess you and I started going to it about the same time because I think 2001 was my first year to do it.
Okay.
And I think that year, I can't remember who the headliner was, but this is one of the things that sets Cattle Barons apart from other events. You have name entertainment. We have had, I know while I was doing the event previously, we would have Brooks and Dunn. We'd have Willie Nelson.
We've had George Strait twice.
Yep. We've had pretty much every top entertainer in country music that I can recall, from Dwight Yoakam, Toby Keith. I mean, these were some great shows. And
Kenny Chesney, Tim McGraw, we've had them all.
Yeah. And so this year we have
Zach Brown Band is our headliner.
Yep. And then we also have Charlie Daniels.
He's our VIP band.
Yep. And I've worked with Charlie Daniels before. I've never worked with the Zach Brown Band. But with Charlie Daniels, Charlie is a great supporter. He's a great philanthropist. I mean, I literally have seen Charlie do a show, get on a plane, fly all night, and or even do a show, an early show, get on a plane. We would send a plane for him, and he would come in and do a show for us, and then get back on the plane and go to the next place because he had to do a show the next day. Now Charlie's not a kid anymore.
No.
Charlie, and in fact, I would say that anyone who wants to see Charlie Daniels in a tour. Probably should do it now because he's at that age now where he's one of these days he's just gonna announce a final tour, or he may just quit. And I'm telling you, he puts on a show today just like he did 10 or 20 years ago or 30 years ago. Charlie Daniels is a powerhouse and iconic out of Nashville and kind of that whole Alabama music scene, Muscle Shoals and all that. Now Zach Brown Band's a different animal. You know, they're very modern. He also has an alter ego band, which is pretty interesting. And so, I'm a music nut, so I watch everything. So, you know, I want to go back to how things used to be. So we used to actually go to ranches. So when someone would say, "Hey, we're going to Cattle Barons Ball," really the question was, what ranch in North Texas are we going to go to?
Exactly.
And so I don't even remember some of the names of the ranches we went to.
So many ranches. Some of the ladies had family ranches that we would have it at, but probably in the last decade, I think we had maybe 5 of them at South Fork Ranch.
Yeah, and I did a lot of those events. And in Allen, Texas, I can remember we had a big event in Allen, Texas, and then South Fork, because South Fork had a place for us to go if we had inclement weather. We could at least seek shelter, because as you know, this ball is a production. I mean, we had huge tents. We had concert stages, the stages that we had, concert lighting. If you can imagine just someone going out in a field on a ranch somewhere and I always said we just basically go create a town. You're just
That's what
creating
we
a
did.
town. It's a party town, complete with neon backdrops, big corporate stages that were underwritten by corporations, whether it was Ford or some of the others back in the day. I remember when Toby Keith, he was touring, Ford was an underwriter that year, and where they literally had a Jeep fly through the screen, and pretty wild stuff. I mean, pretty wild stuff. So tell me, I know that there's been a change in the last 4 or 5 years, and we have actually we're now in town. We're in Dallas. And so what is our venue, and what does that bring to it? How big is it, and what does it bring to us?
Okay, so since the reason we did move to an indoor venue was because of the weather. We had 3 out of 4 rain balls, meaning that we had not just a little rain, but those Dallas storms, torrential downpour. And so we've moved to Gilley's Dallas over on Lamar. And I believe it's about 120,000 square feet.
It doesn't look that big, but it is.
Right.
And, that's conveniently located just south of downtown. I mean, it doesn't take, I guess if you live in North Dallas or you lived in Frisco or the Colony or somewhere, McKinney, you can be there in about 30 minutes depending on traffic. This ball is going to be on a Saturday night.
October 20th.
October the 20th. And so the convenience of not having, well, I tell you, it's historic, the number of rain situations we had to deal with over the years. It seemed like we always had rain because of the time of year it is. We were dealing with fall weather. And so, but we had some pretty ugly ones, where they were literally having to pull vehicles out of the mud with tractors, and they're talking about Mercedes.
I think some of those ranches haven't recovered yet.
No, well, I know some boots that didn't recover. And so, anyway, let's talk about some of the cool packages that we have in the live auction.
Okay.
I know you've got a little over about 22 items.
Right.
But we have some really unique items that you're not going to, well, in fact, there is not probably one package in there that's going to be exactly like any other package you'd find anywhere, whether you were in Los Angeles or New York or Miami, Chicago. Because this is an iconic event, we want iconic items. And so why don't you tell me a little bit about some of the items that you have?
And you mentioned we do have 21 items in our live auction, but the special thing about it is that we raise over $1 million in 1 hour from this auction that goes to cancer research in North Texas.
No pressure for me, huh?
I know. We're hoping to set a record with you. So,
Thank you, Katie. Now I'm nervous.
But one of the packages that we have is donated by Tag Heuer and Bachendorf's. It's an Indy 500 VIP experience. Airfare, hotel, and dinners are included, but also a really cool police escort to and from the race and access to all of the pits.
That's cool. That's very cool.
Very cool. And then a Monaco Gulf Edition watch.
Nice. So you're getting the watch, which the way I look at jewelry, a watch to me is like, if you have the right watch, it's for especially for a gentleman and ladies too. But it's like it sets the tone for who you are.
It really
it's
does.
really a jewelry piece. It's not just a watch. It is the accent that carries with you forever.
It's amazing what a watch can tell someone
Yeah.
about that person.
Well, and of course, Bachendorf's is an iconic jeweler. And so I just know what you have and what you have to offer. So we've got the Indy experience. And let me tell you, for anyone who has never gone to the Indianapolis 500, it's a bucket list item.
Definitely.
You're not going to get it everywhere. I'm not going to say you can't go to the Indy 500, but you're not going to have this experience. And you're certainly not going to get the VIP treatment just anywhere. And then you throw in the watch. And here's the other thing. You can write a check to the American Cancer Society. We love checks. Write us a check, give us a credit card, we'll take it. It's a 501c3, it's 100% tax deductible. You can do that. But what is really fun about doing the Indy 500 is you're going to have the experience of going to what is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, unless you decide to go multiple times. But you get the fun of going and knowing that you've donated to the American Cancer Society. Because as you know, cancer affects everyone. And my mother is on her 3rd round of cancer, so I can certainly understand that. and it's been going on for 25 years. She's had breast cancer, she had kidney cancer, and she currently has breast cancer. So, and I have a lot of friends. I just lost a friend last weekend that I've been working with for the last 8 years. He was diagnosed on Thursday, called in sick on Saturday, and passed 3 days later. That's how fast cancer can kill.
It can get you.
And so...
And it can get anybody, any age.
Any age. So it makes us very motivated to do everything we can to kill cancer and strike back. So that's the first item that we're going to talk about. And then you've got some other items. Give me your next cool item.
This one I think is really neat. It's a game of Texas Hold'em with the Dallas Cowboys. Troy Aikman, Tony Casillas, Charles Haley, Daryl Johnston, Drew Pearson, and Darren Woodson for the ultimate guys' night at your house with you and 11 friends while enjoying dinner from Del Frisco's Double Eagle Steakhouse.
Well, if you are a Cowboy fan, which there's a lot of Cowboy fans, it is still the number one football team with the National Football League. It is America's team. If you're going to have a party that includes poker and great food, it's not going to get any better than hanging out with Aikman and those guys. And you know, Super Bowl, all of them a part of a Super Bowl. Some of them 2 and 3. So this is the ultimate Cowboy package for the fan out there. If you want to do something really cool, that would be beyond bucket list, because nobody can plan that one. Nobody said, like with Indy, that's kind of like that's on my bucket list, but nobody says, oh, I think I'd like to play poker with 6 Cowboys and then have Del Frisco cater it as well. And
Exactly.
Del Frisco, of course, is another iconic brand here in Dallas.
Oh, and they have been such a long-time supporter of Cattle Barons Ball. I can't even remember when they didn't participate in recent memory.
Yeah, I think so too. So that's a great package. What would be? Give me another one.
Another one, this one's a trip. One and only an exclusive hotel company, along with American Airlines, donated an amazing 3-stop trip to Africa.
Wow.
4-night stay in Cape Town with views of Table Mountain, and then you'll head to 3 nights in Rwanda to see the wildlife. And they've opened a new gorilla sanctuary there. So that would be really neat for people to see. And last 4 nights in the pristine island of Mauritius.
Wow. I had the great fortune in 2001 to be invited to South Africa to be the first keynote speaker from the United States at the Auctioneer Convention. And so we flew into Cape Town first, and Table Rock Mountain, I distinctly recall being there. And if you've never been to that part of the world, you will never, I'm telling you, for the period of time that I was there, and we traveled the whole country. You know, we went to other locations. South Africa is an awesome place. When I got back, I actually compared Cape Town to kind of the West Coast here, you know, because we went to wineries. It was like being in Napa, and they just have all the things that we have here, and it's just a little bit different, you know. And South Africa is a lot like Texas, for that matter, because you've got trees in the east, and you've got a coastline, and then you have a desert to the west, and so you really have all of the different types of atmospheres and geography and that trip right there, when you put the whole thing together, it's an awesome trip.
Once in a lifetime trip.
How many days do you get?
It is 4 nights, 3 nights, 3 nights.
Okay. All right. That's awesome. Now, we're going to talk about how to buy tickets for Cattle Barons when we close out, and we've still got a little time left. I want to talk about, in my experiences in Dallas and being a part of the community, I've had the great opportunity to know and meet and spend a little time with some of the greatest chefs in the United States, if not internationally. And I'm talking about people who have owned or built or continue to have 1, 2, 3, 4 restaurants, bring out new concepts, new types of cuisines. And we have a unique situation in Dallas. I have not seen this as much in the other cities. They may be doing it, but I haven't seen it, and I haven't been exposed to it, and I've worked a lot of events across the United States. we have a community of chefs that actually like each other.
We do.
And they don't seem to compete with each other.
They really have an oddly great relationship, because I know those restaurants compete every dime counts.
Well, they're fighting for the dollars, but the good thing is they're not fighting in the public, and they're friends, and they do things together.
And they have a great time.
So tell me about our package, our chef package, and tell me who the chefs are and where you're going to go and all that.
Okay, so this year it's Napa with Dallas's finest chefs. Join Dallas's finest celebrity chefs, Nick Barclay, Richard Chamberlain, Dean Fearing, Kevin Garvin, David Holman, Kent Rathbun, and Jim Severson, as they take the show on the road to Napa Valley. And y'all, for 29 years, the team of chefs and their exclusive packages have raised over $2.2 million for the American Cancer Society through Cattle Barons Ball.
That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. I've been involved in some of that.
It is amazing how much these guys have raised for cancer research.
They've done a lot.
And it's a trip for you and 7 guests. It's great for wine drinkers and foodies alike. And the celebrity chefs will prepare a multi-course dinner at the Stelzer Wine Vineyards.
Well, one of the things that I'll just tell you from an auctioneer standpoint, we never get really excited about having anyone on stage with us.
Yes.
We like to own our stage.
Right.
Because sometimes the wrong people get a hold of the microphone. However, with the chefs, and because I've worked with them so many times, we have a relationship. And so I always get a kick out of the chefs coming on stage, because they're like a merry band. You know what I mean? They're buddies, and they treat it that way. And so when they come on stage and talk about what they're going to, what they're offering, where they're going to go, and let me tell you, these are the ultimate people persons. I mean, they love to network. They love to entertain. They're just entertainers. They really are. They're not. I mean, they're great chefs, but they're entertainers. And so, like, whether they come to your home or they take you to Napa or they meet you in Napa, whatever you're going to do, it's going to be a fantastic package. I know it is. And so I look forward to the chefs always.
That one's going to be a good one.
That's going to be a big one. And so we'll see the chefs there. How about the one? You've got another one coming up I want to talk about, and this is and I personally love this because I like Western wear. I love Las Vegas. And why don't you tell me a little bit about our package to the national finals?
Like this one. I've been going to the rodeo since I was a little kid. But you're heading to Las Vegas for the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo, taking place on December 6th, 2018.
Yep.
It's going to be...
it's during the rodeo.
During the rodeo.
Now, I'll tell you, and funny thing about this is I'm actually going to be in Las Vegas that week. And I was telling Zach, our producer, that it's pretty common, evidently, that I don't know how it happens. I happen to be in Las Vegas every first week of December.
Okay.
And we also have a big auctioneer event going on. I mean, that's where we have our continuing education. And so I know that the sponsors on this, you've got American Airlines involved.
American Airlines, Tony Lama, and then to wrap up your trip when you get home, Capitol Grill.
Nice.
But also you do get 2 pair of custom-made boots by Tony Lama.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, and if you can't find something to do in Las Vegas, besides you can go to the rodeo. That's going to be one night or whatever, or whatever the tickets, whatever day or night that is, or whatever you work out, whatever the terms are. The other thing is Las Vegas is it's still the entertainment capital of the world. If you can't find something to do in Las Vegas, you're probably in trouble.
Oh, even one of the nights we have a George Strait concert for you. So one night it's the National Finals Rodeo, and then George Strait concert where you'll have VIP floor seats.
Well, see, you kind of held out.
There's a lot of good stuff in this package. Capitol Grill, new boots,
and
George Strait, and of course the rodeo.
Well, I think we just got probably 50,000 women excited. And if you're not a George Strait fan, you probably don't have blood in your veins, because. And his show in Vegas is phenomenal. There's nobody like King George, and so that'll be awesome. That'll be fun. I think that'll be a great one. Do you have any other one you want to mention? I know. Just as a lead into this, that we have typically almost always had a great relationship with our headline entertainer.
Exactly.
And so tell me what's going to go on with Zach Brown Band.
Well, we do have one package that you can bid on the night of the ball, and you will use it the night of the ball, and it's the best seats in the house. And you and a friend will have the exclusive opportunity to watch the entire concert backstage at your own private table at the Andrews Distributing main stage.
That's awesome. So,
and it's Zach Brown Band.
So we'll do the auction. I'll call the auction, and they'll have a chance to buy an upgrade. Basically, it's an upgrade VIP on stage, side stage, backstage, close enough. I can already see how this is going to work out, and I'm sure there'll be a photo opportunity and things of that nature. So, Zach Brown Band is so popular.
People love them.
Yep, they do. And so that's going to be an upgrade opportunity for you if you attend the Cattle Barons Ball. As we wrap this thing up, and because we are closing out here in the next 2 or 3 minutes, tell me how to purchase Cattle Barons, and just what you need to do to get your Cattle Barons tickets.
Okay, there's a couple ways. Easiest is online at www.cattlebaronsball.com.
Okay.
You can also call the office, do it over the phone at 214-443-9222.
Okay, very good, very good. Why don't you repeat both of those sets of information for
Okay,
them?
so the website is www.cattlebaronsball.com, or call the Cattle Barons Ball office at 214-443-9222.
Okay, very good, very good. I want to make sure people have the opportunity to attend. I think, of course, we've just started doing these podcasts in the last 6 weeks, and I'm really honored to have you on my show.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been fun.
Yeah, and I also know that there's some parties that lead up to this, and I know that I attended one a couple of weeks ago at Bachendorf's on Preston Road, where we had a lot of the folks that are on the committees and a part of it, and it was a very well, I'll tell you what was cool about it. It was cool from the standpoint you had people that really care about cattle barons and care about the American Cancer Society and raising money, but also Lawrence's mother got up and sang.
Oh yeah.
So she had. Did she write that?
She about 5 or 6 years ago. She's always played the piano and always liked to sing, but she started composing her own songs and putting words to it.
And she wrote a song about cattle barons.
Yes. Oh, I wish I had the words here.
I wish we had videotaped it.
There are a few of them going around. I think on Lawrence's Instagram page you can find it.
Well, it was awesome. And what was fun about it, of course, she's not 29 anymore.
I think she's 84.
Okay. Well, she got up and she did this song. And then she printed off the lyrics for everyone to have a copy of the lyrics and then to sing along if they would. And so when we got through, I went up to her with my copy and I said, "Would you please autograph my copy?" And she just lit up and she autographed that copy. And you would have thought she was 19 and playing in Los Angeles in a nightclub somewhere.
She was in heaven.
She says, "I've made it." And she said, "This is my first autograph." And I thought, well, that's just awesome. So anyway, shout out to your mother-in-law.
Oh, she is so good.
Yeah,
she really is. She's a good egg.
Yep, she's a good egg. Yeah, that's an appropriate term. So anything else you'd like to say about the Cattle Barons Ball and what we're going to be doing? Because it's going to be coming up pretty quick.
Oh, gosh, it's going to be coming up quick. But as we said, it's the single largest one-night fundraiser for the American Cancer Society. But what makes this special is that all of the funds go to cancer research in the North Texas area, with about 80% of them staying at UT Southwestern.
Very good.
And it's going to be October 20th, 2018 at Gilley's, Dallas. Multi-Grammy award-winning country music group Zach Brown Band and Country Music Hall of Fame legend the Charlie Daniels Band for VIP.
It's going to be awesome.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun.
So everybody in the sound of our voice that wants to go to an iconic event, because this is not just a fundraiser.
Oh,
I mean, there's lots of fundraisers, but this is the American Cancer Society #1 fundraiser in the United States. and we couldn't be prouder of it. And also, this is your chance if you live I mean, I know people that fly in for this event. They come in from California. They come in from, the various places, New York, Chicago. It's a chance to put, for people that want to be a part of the scene, and
Right.
it is the scene, to put on their best Western wear, go out and for the ladies, they can go buy something new and fresh so they can have something to show off this year, of course. and the gentlemen just have a great time because it is a fantastic party, and I couldn't be prouder to be the auctioneer this
We're
year.
so happy to have you back.
Thank you very much. Well, guys, I think that's we're going to wrap this one, Zach. If you're ready. And Katy Bock, thank you so much for being here, co-chair of the 2018 Cattle Barons Ball in Dallas. And on behalf of everyone at the Mike McGavel Jones Show, we bid you adieu, and we'll see you next time. God bless.